Members, it is the appointed time and we also have got a quorum. Can I call the meeting to order? First thing first, members, may I please ask you to elect the chairman for this session. Members, please note that according to ROP 77(6), if a member is the chairman or deputy chairman of a government advisory body in respect of matters which a panel considers to be directly related to the terms of reference of the panel shall not be the chairman or deputy chairman of the panel. And also ROP 77(7) states that a member shall not be the chairman or deputy chairman of more than one panel at the same time. And also according to House Rule 22 and also Appendix 4, may I now ask you to nominate members to be chairman. A valid nomination shall be made orally by a member, seconded by at least one other member who should not be the member being nominated, and accepted by the member being nominated. Members' nominations, please. Ms. Kenneth Chan. I nominate Ms. Sit Ho. Any seconder? Mr. Gary Chan, Mr. Gary Fan, and Mr. Kenneth Leung and Mr. Wu Chi-wai and two other members second. I accept nomination. According to the procedure, the Deputy Chairman, Mr. Christopher Chung, will administer the election. I think I should have handed over to you before I accepted the nomination. So why don't you say again whether you accept nomination? I do. Since Ms. Sit Ho has been nominated, I'd like to ask whether there are other nominations for chairmanship. Any other nominations for chairmanship? If not, I declare Ms. Sit Ho returned ipso facto as chairman of the EA panel. Ms. Ho, please continue to chair the meeting. Thank you very much, members, for your support. Next, we need to elect the deputy chairman of the panel. Nominations, please. Ms. Elizabeth Quat. I nominate Mr. Gary Chan. Any seconder? Ms. Helena Wong. Mr. Gary Chan, do you accept nomination? I do. Any other nominations? If not, there are none. We'd like to thank Mr. Christopher Chung, the outgoing deputy chairman, for his contributions to the panel last year. And I welcome Mr. Gary Chan, who is going to take up the deputy chairmanship of the panel in the coming year. Now we need to discuss the schedule of regular meetings for this panel in the coming year. The clerk has already tabled a schedule for your information. The regular meeting is held at 2:30 p.m. on the fourth Monday of the month. But I need to consult you on two particular dates. The first one is the one for the 23rd of December. It is quite close to Christmas. The clerk would like to advance it to the 16th of December at 8:30 in the morning. If you do not have any objection, our December regular meeting will be changed to the 16th of December at 8:30 in the morning. And also the last meeting for the year, scheduled for the 28th of July, 2014. Other panels have mentioned the same thing, and that is whether we really want to schedule a date so late, because the Council will go into prorogation on the 9th of July. But then, please note that we should have our regular meeting on the fourth Monday of the month. If you advance it to too early a date, it will be too close to the meeting in June. Now, the clerk has proposed that we should have the meeting on the 23rd of July at 2:30 p.m. If there is no objection, that will be the date of the meeting. But of course, it depends. If there are urgent matters to be handled, we might have to have special meetings. Next, the item to be discussed in our October meeting. We have the list of outstanding items for discussion, and the administration has proposed an item for the meeting in October, and that is legislative amendments relating to the waste diversion plan for the Southeast New Territories landfill. We haven't got a paper yet. The administration has proposed that item alone for the meeting in October. The administration thinks that item will warrant discussion for 2 hours. Well, actually, it may not take up a total 2 hours and some time may be wasted. So I would propose that we might like to take up the consultation on light pollution, because the consultation would end on the 18th of October. We had wanted to have a meeting, a hearing before the 18th of October to invite deputations to talk about light pollution. However, we could not agree on a date with the administration. As you know, even if the consultation period has ended, the Legislative Council can still hold a hearing, and the administration will be duty-bound to listen to views expressed in that hearing. So I would say that we combine this with the meeting scheduled for the 28th of October, which may take 3 hours. Mr. Albert Chan, I'm interested in what you said, that you did not arrive at an agreed time with the administration. It is quite disagreeable, and I think the administration has ignored our wishes. Well, there is a consultative group, and it is going to write a report. After it has written its report, we can base our discussion on that report. So we're just waiting for that report. What do you think, members, about combining 2 items for the meeting on the 28th of October so that the meeting will last for 3 hours? Any views? If not, we will make that decision. And then list of outstanding items for discussion. Members, would you like to shuffle the items around? Would you like to add new items also? Dr. Helena Wong and then Dr. Kenneth Chan. Chairman, I hope this panel will accord priority to light reflection on the external walls of buildings. I remember the Secretary told us that there are no laws and he would try to see what other countries are doing. I hope he can come back soon to let us know how we can deal with light reflection on the external walls of buildings. Secondly, water quality in Victoria Harbour and also sewage treatment. In many districts, if you go near the harbour and if you are next to a drain outlet, you will see that the water is quite turbid and there is stench, and this may be due to illegal connections. I like the DSD to tell us about how we can improve water quality at Victoria Harbour by dealing with the drains and also drainage policy. Okay, Dr. Helena Wong, about light reflection on the external walls of buildings, I think that can be subsumed under light pollution. And also, I'd like to respond to Mr. Albert Chan. Originally, the administration would like to take up light pollution only in the first quarter of next year, but we are going to hold that hearing first, whether or not the administration will take up the item with us. So on the 28th of October, Dr. Helena Wong, you can ask questions there, and also in the first quarter of next year, the administration will revisit the issue. Secondly, water quality at Victoria Harbour. It is scheduled for the second quarter of 2014, but we can certainly try to advance it. Now, this has to be combined with drainage, especially with regard to illegal or incorrect connection in private buildings. Dr. Kenneth Chan, last year, we talked about natural conservation policies. I proposed at the beginning of last year that the administration should brief us on the progress of natural conservation policies. Is still in our list now. Secondly, the conservation of Chinese white dolphins vis-a-vis extension of the airport and also in Tongchong. The habitat of Chinese white dolphins may well be impacted upon, and this species may be threatened. I hope we can invite experts and administration to come along. And also seepage at landfills. The administration gave its explanation, but then the news media are chasing up on the issue, and it seems the matter has not been resolved. I think we need to follow up on the issue. And there are 2 other things. One, something mentioned at the development panel, and that is country parks. I remember there was a joint meeting about Saiwan, and now there is heated discussion about country parks. Chairman, you might like to delve into it to see whether we should have a joint meeting. And also, at the same time, you may be aware that the administration is considering legislating against the import and export of asbestos. I think we need to allow the public to know whether buildings in Hong Kong are still using asbestos, and whether it is damaged to any extent and whether it is posing a health risk. I believe we should ask the administration to come clean on this. Thank you.
Professor Kenneth Chan has raised 5 or 6 issues. Conservation of white dolphins and conservation policies really on the list for a long time, and we will discuss with the administration as to when that can be discussed.
And also Chinese white dolphins and the airport. I think they may be postponing it. And also seepage of landfills. I think this is not in the list. However, it is very urgent. It is said that the administration will come back for funding for extending the landfills. However, if this important thing is not resolved, it may affect our standpoint on the issue. So I believe we should accord high priority to seepage at landfills. All right? And Taiwan, and also development involving country parks. Whenever we talk about land, yes, there is a conservation angle, but no matter what, we should talk to the development panel to see whether they would invite us to their discussion or whether we should have a joint panel meeting. However, we never are able to achieve a quorum for joint panel meeting. I think it's easier for the development panel to invite us to go over. And the asbestos issue will be the subject of Gazette this year. And next thing, re-export of rubbish. We asked many questions, but then the Customs and Excise did not give us a clear answer, and the EPD did not give us a clear answer, so we need to follow up. Mr. Gary Chan, I have nothing to add. Mr. Stephen Ho, this is the EAP. There is something that is not in the list, and I don't know whether it is related to us. There will be a lot of marine works, especially in NT West. Can we advance item 21, which is impact of submarine engineering works on marine ecology? Because if there will be more infrastructure done at sea, there will be an impact on the sea ecology and also fishermen. Well, in fact, many environment issues are pressing and are of concern. Now there is already a list of 23 items. I would propose that number 19 and number 21 be combined. That is protection of endangered species from the impact of construction works, for that to be combined with submarine engineering works. Just now, Mr. Kenneth Chan talked about Chinese white dolphins, but that is not the only species in the sea. If Chinese white dolphins are dying, other species are also to be affected as well. And when we talk about submarine engineering works, I think that has more to do with the western waters near the airport. So if you do not object, we will combine these two into one item, so we can shorten the list. Mr. Wu Chi-wai and then Mr. Christopher Chung. Thank you, Chairman. The administration is now consulting on waste charging. I hope we can have an item to discuss the promotion of recycling. What can be done to do recycling, and also what kind of policies can be implemented? Yes, good. I think the Environment Bureau will propose this anyway. There will be a lot of special meetings that you should expect in the next 2 quarters. Mr. Christopher Chung, I think submarine works, that is not just for Chinese white dolphins, but for the sea ecology and also for the livelihood of fishermen. We are not just talking about a few dolphins. Of course, we treasure them, but even if they are not here, we have to continue to live. And also, the submarine works also have to do with our eastern waters, not just the western waters. There are cables to be laid on the seabed, so it is just like road excavation works on land. They are opening up the seabed from time to time, and I think the works should be coordinated. And also, maybe one excavation should be done before a few companies can make use of the trenches together, but none of us know a lot about this because this is happening on the seabed. I think there should be better coordination. This is happening in the eastern waters as well. Okay, so it's the same for the eastern and western waters. Mr. Stephen Ho, you have no objection, right?
Yes, it's just that in our western waters we have more infrastructure projects, but Mr. Chung is very correct. And Long Gu Tan, also Long Mei, we are concerned about the endangered species. There are different types of works, submarine cable, artificial beach, and also airport projects. We will expand the scope, combine the two items and expand the scope of our discussion. Do you have any more? We have quite a long list already, and I thank you ahead for your attendance in our meetings because there are really many pressing meetings. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned. I beg your pardon. We have the subcommittee on light air pollution. The term of the subcommittee is supposed to end in mid-December. And we're now at the stage of preparing a report and making recommendations. I hope members agree that the subcommittee should go on until at least the middle of December. And if members are agreeable, the Secretariat will send out invitations to members who are not yet members of the subcommittee. Mr. Christopher Chung, perhaps light pollution is near completion, but what about noise? I think the subcommittee should at least go on for another year because after we have completed our work on light pollution, we can work on noise. Because noise pollution can take toll on people's health. All right, then we will first get a consensus of the subcommittee first. Even if there's a consensus within the subcommittee, we will have to get the approval of the House Committee because the number of such subcommittees is now capped at 8, and in principle, each subcommittee is not expected to last more than 1 year. Well, if we seek an extension, it should be for 1 year. Why should we just require extension for a few months? Well, after the subcommittee is formed, it will first form a consensus, and then they can get the approval of HC for an extension of its term. Well, you have completed light pollution. You cannot just leave noise pollution alone. Well, the procedure is to seek a consensus within the subcommittee and then get the approval of the HC. All right. If there is no other view, then we have completed our agenda. I think we are much more efficient than other panels. Thank you very much.